Pilot from the Iranian Royal Air Force attempted to fire a missile at a UFO. In the same instant, the pilot's fire control console and radio went dead. At this point, a smaller craft emerged from the main UFO and circled around the jet. The pilot then took evasive action and power to his controls returned. He escaped unharmed.
In this report, they say, in effect, UFOs are real. Ergo, the extraterrestrial hypothesis may in some cases be the best or only real answer and cannot be ignored. They are technological. They do things that we probably can't do.
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
And all that being said, this obviously constitutes a major concern for global defense and security.
When the report was completed, it was given to a number of leading French journalists. One of these was Bernard Tournel, the editor of VSD.
VSD is a French weekly magazine like Time Life. We are a journal press publication. It's not specialized in UFO sightings at all.
The Cometa Group allowed VSD to publish the report, provided it was not manipulated in any way.
If the public was aware of the Cometa report, then the Cometa report was not going to disappear in any kind of official or semi-official dark hole, so to speak. Then the Cometa report became a public fact, and it remains a public fact.
To date, the report has not been officially published outside of France. And so far, only one article, published in the Boston Globe, has appeared in the U.S. press.
I applied a very high standard to the story because of its controversial nature. I was basically retelling what the generals and the other people had concluded in their report. I looked at government documents that dealt with the issue of national security and UFOs, which was what the generals were dealing with in France.
Despite her thoroughness, Leslie Kean encountered much resistance in getting the story published.
I went to many papers, many of whom I've published with in the past. People laughed, hung up the phone. The subject matter is ridiculed in the media. And so even though I was dealing with facts in this article and high-level journalism, they weren't interested because of the subject matter. This was really frustrating because I thought this was an extremely important story, and I know that it was newsworthy.
Most Americans have never heard of it. The group hasn't published an English translation that anybody can get a hold of. And they seem to be on the trail of saying, hey, you Americans, you're holding back technology that you've learned from flying saucers from your allies. So it's a message to the Pentagon, not to the public. They know the Pentagon knows they're real. So it's an important report for what it says. No other report with names, with people with excellent cases, this is not anonymous reporting now, has come close to taking as strong a stand that some UFOs are extraterrestrial spacecraft.
In 2007, the French National Space Agency, CNES, released a half-century of previously classified UFO reports.
A group calling itself the Disclosure Project is in Washington this week, calling on Congress to hold public hearings on UFOs.
Is there really life on other planets? Some former military and government personnel say they have proof there is.
A group of people who claim they have seen UFOs is calling on Congress to open hearings.
What do members plan to do with their information? They hope Congress and President Bush take notice.
Before a crowd of believers and skeptics, with cameras rolling, members of a group calling itself the Disclosure Project stood up one by one to tell personal experiences involving what they say are UFOs.
I have with me the voice tapes of the controllers that were involved. I have a copy of the original of the video that we took, which is rather interesting. And it's called the UFO Incident. Japan 1648, I believe the number was, that happened on November the 18th, 1986. When it was all done, the CIA, one of the CIA men told the people they were now sworn to secrecy. that this meeting never happened and this event never happened.
The Disclosure Project was formed by Dr. Stephen Greer in 1993. Since then, he has gathered together over 200 military and civilian witnesses who experienced UFO events during their official duties.
We had ground visual, ground radar, airborne visual, and airborne radar confirmation of some of these sightings.
Witnesses ranged from FAA controllers to military communications specialists.
I can clearly recall seeing a message that went through my crypto center which said that a UFO had crashed out on the Spitsbergen, Norway, and that team of scientists were coming to investigate it.
Many witnesses provided official documentation of their event.
Out of the National Archives, I have the 18-page official Navy Air Force report. So the truth is here. I will testify under oath before Congress that everything that I have said is true.
I think it's time to open the books.
In October of 2002, former White House Chief of Staff John Podesta urged the release of secret government UFO records. He cited the importance to the public of declassifying government documents.
It's time to find out what the truth really is that's out there. We ought to do it really because it's right. We ought to do it because the American people, quite frankly, can handle the truth. And we ought to do it because it's the law.
It's not surprising that government officials of this stature are requesting the release of official UFO information because sightings over major cities persist. In December 2006, a number of United Airlines employees witnessed a disc-shaped craft hovering over Chicago's O'Hare Airport for 2 minutes. The incident was reported in the national media.
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form?
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death?
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See
Demonic
Jessica.
threat
at Human
reduced
Resources.
by 25%.
Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet?
Demonic threat reduced by 25%. Warning, core temperature rising.
Stay focused. Stay committed. Remember, the Blind Council is always watching.
Warning, core temperature rising. Demonic threat reduced by 25%. Warning, core temperature rising. Demonic threat reduced by 50%.
Remember, the blind council is always watching.
Demonic threat reduced by 50%. Demonic threat reduced by 75%.
Have you filled out the UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance. Your devotion to the UAC's mission on Mars is the foundation to our success. With you, we will establish a new paradigm and move humanity into the future. Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment?
Demonic threat reduced by 75%. Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown disengaged. Turbine room doors now open. Warning. Core temperature reaching critical levels. Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown disengaged. Turbine room doors now open. Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown disengaged. Turbine re-engaged.